got the calves, I got the abs. I got the glutes, I got the calves, I got the abs. It's time to get lit, it's time to get fit. Let's meal prep and get it in, get it in. Transformation, freedom, and innermost heaven. Let's hit the gym and get fit, get fit.
Well, hello. It is Tina with Enriched by Tina here to help you get your whole life together. And y'all already know what it is. It is Fitness Friday, and we're going to talk about getting some fitness and getting some juice in your joints and talking about how can you incorporate exercise in your daily activities. I see 3 people on. Say something. 4 people put something in the chat. Say, hey, let me know you're out here. It's just nice to know who you're talking to. I'm not gonna get your social security number and ask you for no check. I'm not gonna ask for no money for these holidays or none of those types of things. But just pop in, you watching, just tell me, hey. So I'm gonna show you some quick little things on how to incorporate exercise in your daily activity, because a lot of times people, hey, Mother Laura, is saying, oh, I just don't have the time, I can't really do it. And so I thought about doing something just completely different than I normally do it. What's going on, girl? How you doing? Been thinking about you, praying for you, and just believing, trusting God for you all, for healing in y'all's heart, Karen. And I'm telling you, I just decided I was just gonna do something like off the cuff. Y'all know me. Y'all been hanging with me now. Hey, Daryl, how you doing? Y'all know by now I'm a little off the cuff, a little unorthodox a little bit. So I do a lot of things, you know. So I want to do something a little bit different tonight, as it relates to Fitness Friday and doing some little things. And I wanted to give you some fun facts and give you some information, but in the midst of it, I want to show you how you can incorporate getting some exercise, getting some activities in. So those of you that's in the listening audience, if you sit down, if you're driving on a car, now, of course, you can't do this, some of these things that we're doing. But if you're in the car, you can just take your shoulders and just kind of move back. I just want to show you something. So even while you are sitting at your desk, and if you catch this on a replay while you're at work, just take your shoulders and just kind of roll back. Just roll them back about 5 or 6 times. And you'll just be surprised by doing it, and then do the opposite directions. Do it about 5 or 6 times. And I'm telling you, hey, Bob, how you doing? It will help you just really loosen up your shoulders while you're sitting there. So that's a form of movement, a form of exercise. You don't have to get out there and run and do something. And so we know that this month is National Diabetes Month. And you all know that diabetes is something that's near and dear to me because of what happened to me and my diagnosis and all of those types of things. Thanks, Bob. Thanks. And my whole, health scare and, the weight loss journey and all those things that even incorporated for me to even be this wellness coach that I am today. Because once you know better, you'll do better. So that's what you have to do. So when you think about diabetes, it affects over 30 million children and adults in the U.S. I don't know if you knew that. And then it's like 1 out of 11 will be diagnosed with diabetes. So that's just a fun fact. So while we're sitting here thinking about it, if you have some weights, then you just sit here and just go do this. And as you're just sitting at the desk, because of course, if you're driving and you're listening to me and you can't do this, but if you're sitting at your desk and you're doing something or watching TV, you can just sit here and move these weights up and move. If you don't have weights, guess what? I hear somebody say, I don't have any weights. Then just imagine these as 2 water bottles, because I thought I had another one. Then get your water bottle and go up and down. Just move your arms up and down up and down. Even as you do that, you say, okay, I don't have any of that, then just move your own arms. Just use your body weight and go up and down while you're sitting, you're watching TV, or you're at your desk, you're at work. Just take a few minutes every hour, just take it and move your arms and go up there. So when you think about that, and I mean, I'm already getting a little sweat, y'all, just for doing that. So if you do 10 on one, 10 times, and 10 times going up, and then you do your stretches, you will incorporate some type of movement in your day. And you're just sitting right there at your desk. You're sitting here, you're listening to me. And guess what? You've gotten 2 exercises in just in a few minutes. So don't look at this and start thinking about exercise. Oh God, I really can't do it. So then when you think about this diabetes, which is definitely a growing epidemic. And so when you think about who does it affect? And I'm over 50% of the population, over 50% of our population, if it affects 50% of African Americans and Hispanics more than it does any other non-Hispanic and whites. So when you think about that, over 50% of this of Americans will have it. Guess what? That's sometimes to have some really serious talks that you really need to get some movement or something doing. So you say, okay, now we have done a whole lot of arm movement. Now just march in place. You're just sitting at your desk and just move your feet and just march in place where you sit. You can do this doing television commercials while you're sitting there watching TV, or like most of us are working from home or sitting at a desk in front of a computer. Take your desk and just march up and down. Just march your legs up and down. Do it up and down and do at least 10 or 20 times. It's a movement. Because some of you say, I got bad knees. This is definitely a good exercise for someone who is sitting and your knees won't let you be great. Then you could just march in place sitting at your desk. And just do that every hour on the hour, so you work 8 hours. If you do that at least 5 times or 10 times, do 10 times marching in place, do that every hour. It only took us about a few minutes. And I'm telling you, I can start feeling my heart rate is raising, and I'm just sitting in a seat. So let's think about how we can put some exercises in our daily walk. So let me give you another fact about this diabetes, because I'm telling you, it's really has enlightened me. I've been doing a lot of research. I thought I knew some things, but boy, this is really has really opened up my eyes. So when you think about the 8 million Americans have pre-diabetes, and then they're or are at risk of developing type 2 diabetes, and guess what? 90% of them don't even know that they have it. That you're even at risk of it. So a lot of times we don't even think about that. And a lot of times if you don't feel okay, we want to self-diagnose ourselves. We don't want to go to the doctor, do like things that we need to do. But guess what? A lot of us have some insurance. Use it. That's what it's there for. You don't want to find out because you passed out on the floor, and if you're driving, your blood sugars is up, and next thing you know, you're on the floor, or you done ran off the road. Or I had one of my insurance agents, how he found out, he passed out in the floor, and he was passed out in the yard on the way going to a client's house. And guess what? You know how he found out? That's how he found out. So what if he would have still been behind the wheel of a car when his blood sugars decided they were going to bottom out and he passed out? So what's another exercise that you can do sitting there? So then you can take your arms and then just reach up and come all the way back down and all the way down and get down and do that up and down. Do that at least 10 times while you're seated. Another exercise that you can do while you're sitting there, you can just stand up and sit down. Stand up and sit down. And y'all, these are squats. Whether we want to say, hey, we don't know how to do a squat. Hey, we can sit here and sit back down in your chair. And the more you get to moving and going up and down, eventually you can just do this, squat and get your body weight and don't really sit, but pretend like you're going to sit you can build up your stamina. So those are ways that you can incorporate exercise in your daily activity life. So when you think about diabetes, every 21 seconds, someone in the US is being diagnosed with diabetes. Every 21 seconds. Wow. That's a lot of people when you think about it. So this is something that you really need to rethink about it. You need to think about the things that you're doing and how you're treating your body, because guess what? You only get one body. And we have to put the proper things in the body to make the body function. And so I just wanted to just give you a few little tips and tidbits about diabetes, about what you can do about it. Some exercise you can incorporate while sitting at your desk or at home doing those commercials. If you catching this on the replay or you just now tuning in, go back for the replay and see about some of the things, learn some facts about diabetes and figure out some of the things that you can do about it. So what's some myths about diabetes? Because a lot of times, a lot of people you don't know some things or you don't understand some things because sometimes you get misunderstanding about it. So one myth that I want to tell you about is that diabetes is not a serious disease, and that's a myth because it's very serious. Diabetes causes more deaths each year than breast cancer and AIDS. So having diabetes nearly doubles the chance of you having a heart attack. You heard me. You thinking, oh, I'm a sugar. What's that got to do with anything? Diabetes and the way your body processes sugar and uses the sugar, then all the food turns into glucose, which is the energy that we use to be able to function. Yes, diabetes will put you at risk of a heart attack. So just think about it. And as I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm gonna just lift my weights up again. I'm telling you, hey sis, how you doing? Sitting here talking about it, pre-diabetes and how you can incorporate exercise in your daily day. So here's from, because some people jobs are physical, but the majority of us is sitting at a desk in front of a computer. So you can lift your weights up and down. You can take them to the front. You can move them to the side. You can do all those things to get you some movement while you're sitting at the desk or while you're looking at TV. You can incorporate exercise right along with all that. Now, myth number 2, eating too much sugar causes diabetes. Listen, research have shown that the sugary drinks is linked to type 2 diabetes, but a lot of times diabetics is in your genetics. So if you have been predisposed because of your genetics, then you want to change your eating habits, because if mama had it, her mama had it, you want to change what we call in the Christian world a generational curse. We want to change those curses, but it doesn't matter. You can not claim it or name it or any of that stuff. If you are eating those things, that's going to run you up. And I'm telling you, the starch, and we told you that if you have a high calorie diet from those starches and those trans fats that we talked about on Tuesday, now sugar will help run it up, but the starches is more than a notion on your body. So let's go, let's move, let's march again. Let's sit it there and let's march in place. So even when you think about that, so don't just think that it's about the sugar, because it's also about those other things that we don't think about, those trans fats that have the bread, our breads, our sugar, those starchy vegetables, the starchy foods, the things that turn straight to sugar. That's, those potato chips. And you can't just eat one. So think about those types of things. And then when you start thinking about the drinks, and we talked about that. So go back and check out the other one, how you want to rethink your drink. Another myth is you have to be overweight or obese be obese to have diabetes. That's a myth, because guess what? I know some skinny people that are unhealthy. I know some skinny people, and when I say skinny people, people that you would look at and say, "Oh, she don't have no kind of health problems." I had a very good friend who probably weighed 110 pounds wet, but she had something. She had type 1 diabetes, and she had a pump, but nobody knew that, because nobody would even thought or even associated that with her, because she was skinny. So don't think that because people are skinny, they don't have health issues. And I know a lot of us want that Barbie body, but sometimes that's not realistic for you or your genetics. So that's another myth, that you have to be obese. Here's another one, that you can catch it from somebody. It's not like this virus that we have out here that we do have to protect ourselves from. It's not about some of the other communicable diseases that are out here. This is, if you sit beside me and I cough on you and I have diabetes, you're not going to get it because I coughed on you. You can't catch it. It's in your blood, it's in your genetics, it's in your DNA makeup. So when you think about that, you can't, like the flu and this the virus, even the Delta. Hey, Derek, I didn't even see you pop in. How you doing? The flu and the virus and the Delta virus, it's not like that. How you can catch that. It's nothing. So if I have diabetes and you come and sit beside me, unless it's in your genetic makeup and you are in my bloodline and we have the same, genes and family genes, and we're in the same family, then the chances are you could develop if you don't eat right, but it has nothing to do with being able to catch it, just like the stuff that's communicable. So I'm gonna leave this last one with you, that that this last myth is, if you have type 2 diabetes and your doctor say you need to start using insulin, it means you're failing to take care of your diabetes properly. That is not true. There are times that when you have type 2, it may progress, because this is a progressive disease. So you may start out as a type 2, but if you don't do right and you don't keep and your medicine, and it could be you can be taking your medicine, but the way the combination of the medicine and your food and all the things that you have to, that's why you have to make sure you know what works for you, and what works for someone else may not be the regimen for you. For me, I was able to get my blood sugars under control by eliminating all those complex carbs and doing a low carb diet, because I do eat carbs. I just eat the ones that's low on the glycemic. Some people are able to manage through keto. Some people are able to do some other things. Some people manage it by they gave up meat altogether and went to be or became pescatarians or vegetarians or vegan. So you have to figure out all of this, because remember, Enriched by Tina is here just to enrich you, to help you. I'm not a doctor. I don't diagnose, treat, or cure anything. I can only give you just some information and educational purpose to make you think, to make you start wondering. I want to live like, I want to live to be 125 years old, or, a longer, I want to be able to get to 80 and 90, like some of us have been able to experience. Some grandparents that lived that long. Like my daughter, my granddaughter's got a great grandmother, so my son-in-law's grandmother, both of them are still alive. They're in their 90s. I got an aunt who's 90, so I want to be able to live just like that. But guess what? I have to make some of those changes health-wise, because you all know, or some of you may not know, I am a full-time caregiver. My dad lives with me. He's in the final stages of kidney failure. So guess what? When you tune in with me on Tuesday, I'm going to tell you about some of those things that diabetes affects, and some of the diseases, and some of the health, some of these side effects, and some of these health issues that you can have if you have uncontrollable diabetes. And I did get my friend the one I told you that she lost her sight due to not taking control of her diabetes. So she will be with us on the 30th, on Tuesday, of Tina's Tips. And so this coming Tuesday, you know, I like to give y'all a forewarning for what you look at. I will talk to you some of those diseases, some of those chronic health things and how we can how our body's affected by diabetes if we don't keep it under control, and some of the things that we can prevent ourselves from having those heart attacks and having strokes and things, and some of those health things that can affect. And one of them is kidneys. Even though my father does not have diabetes, but he does have he's on dialysis. So guess what? My aunt was on dialysis. I had another family member on dialysis. I got a cousin who's on dialysis. So guess what? I have to make sure I keep this blood sugars under control and the sodium, so the blood pressure. So when you start talking about blood pressure and all these other things, and like I told you in the beginning, that diabetes is the number one cause of people having heart attacks and strokes, because it's uncontrollable sugar. Some people don't even have a blood pressure issue. It's a sugar issue. It's your blood glucose. And it's not the cakes and cookies and pies like I love. It's those chips and those white things, and the pasta and the breads and the rice, the things that we love so much that just makes us just go ooh, ooh, ooh. So remember that you can do some marching in place. You can do some hand lifts. You can do some hand over to the side. You can stretch your shoulders. You can move. And this is a good one too. When you've been sitting in front of the computer, roll your neck this way and roll it that way. Even when you've been sitting still looking at the TV, because some of us likes to look at TV. So remember to incorporate some movement while you're doing some of the things, whether you're sitting at your desk, whether you're waiting in line, in the drive-through line, you can do some stuff, because sometimes these drive-through lines, because a lot of people are not letting people inside, while you're watching TV, while you're just sitting around and you're thinking about it, have I done some movement? And when you think about some of those things, and if we had kept moving the whole time, we would have got in a good 15-20 minute workout, marching in place, doing some of those things. And when you think about the commercials, I'm gonna see how much time in a commercial. I'm gonna time myself and see that when you do a commercial in between your TV shows, get some movement. So you can get some exercise, y'all. You just have to be very, very creative in how you do it. So let's stop making excuses about you can't get out and exercise. If you have time to sit and watch TV, you have time to do some movement. If you have time while you're sitting at your desk, you can do some movement at work. Because a lot of times we're on social media. And I went one time and I strolled through social media, and next thing I know, it was an hour and 30 minutes later one time. Use some of our time wisely. Get some movement. Get some things in there, and you will see that moving and doing some exercise will improve your overall health if you get some juice in your joints. Because I'm telling you, my neck was a little stiff today, but doing those rolls and doing that neck roll has made me feel a little bit better. I hope it has made you feel a little bit better. So I thank you for in tuning with me this afternoon, this evening, as we get ready for the holidays. So don't forget to tune in with me on Tuesday at 6 o'clock for Tina's Tips. And I thank you for tuning in on this evening, because it makes it a little bit easier when you have somebody to talk to. Although many of you didn't do too much in the chat today, but it's okay. So if you're catching this on the replay, put replay, and remember, I am Enriched by Tina on all social media platforms. So give me a follow on all those. Go over to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to build that up. So even on the replay, so like it, give me some thumbs up when you come in. Say you looking at it on the replay, just put replay. Let me know you came by my house while I wasn't home. let me know that you're enjoying some of the things that I'm doing. You tell me in the public when you see me, but let me see you put it in here, because as you make comments, you know, then it'll keep me in the algorithm will keep me in the keep this thing rolling, and more people can be able to see it. So if you share it, it may be someone on your page who may needs to know about diabetes and may need to know what some things to be on the lookout for. So this has been Tina with Enriched by Tina. I'm here to help you get your whole life together. I'm going to do this one meal at a time. So thank you. And again, I will see you again on Tuesday for Tina's tips. And let me give you some music on your way out the door. Have a good evening and have a restful weekend.
Baby, now tell me exactly how you feel. I'm just trying to keep it real. Let me love you on the inside, love you on the inside. Tell me exactly what you mean. You mean everything to me. Let me love you on the inside, love you on the inside.